Hi, I'm reading from the book Färjan, The Ferry by me, Tomas Berglund. We're on the 10th episode. After not too long, the ferry has crossed to the southern side. It's likely it's like the metal of the ferry slides up onto the rocks on the shore, and the gates open. The ferry's light turns green. It's just a matter of simmering away, and there are a few cars. If I were to guess, there are 9 cars, 3 lines of 3 cars, and now the magic happens. We start driving back to Älvsbyn, but on the southern side of the river. It's a slightly smaller road. We come from Älvsbyn on the northern side of the river. Isn't this just a lot of waste of nature's resources? And maybe it is, but what else would we have been doing, playing bridge or chess? We can talk so well in the car. We don't have to sit and look at each other or look each other in the eye. It just flows, simple. Every now and then I look at Johannes. We rarely make eye contact. I wonder if we have ever made eye contact, if I'm being really honest. Johannes is kind of in his own head and I'm in mine. Like all people, we're busy taking care of different images that our brains have created. To a large extent, it's probably about trying to crack our own codes and be able to express the feelings that are on the inside and the outside of our bodies. Our brains control everything from the inside. The ferry is yellow. It has a tower where the ferryman probably sits. He decides when it's time to stop, unload, load, close and set off. It must be a monotonous job. Maybe he'll find something he can use his capacity for. Maybe he'll be completely satisfied or not. Charon or Charon, Charun in Etruscan, was, as they say in Greek and Roman mythology, the immortal ferryman of the underworld who brought the souls of the dead across the river Acheron or Styx to the kingdom of Hades, and we returned week after week with the same request: take us across to Styx or to Hades, and we'll be back next Wednesday again, over and over again. What did we do here? What fascinates me a bit is that the ferry comes up from the water onto land and unfolds its metal parts that form the dock ramp that cars and trucks will drive onto. It's like stone, water and metal that meet. Of course, the metal wears out a little every time the ferry unfolds it, but it happens several times every day. Spring, summer and autumn. Someone has calculated the whole thing. It's not just a coincidence that everything works. They take the ferry out and renovate it during the winter. They take the ferry out and go through it from top to bottom during the winter months. There's plenty of time, but where does this happen? In Piteå. The ferry is actually like an artificial bridge that you can drive over. It's almost like the ferry is a bridge that only opens at certain times. You can only drive a few vehicles at a time, in one direction or the other. How many are left behind? Does the ferry usually get full? I haven't thought much about that. First come, first served anyway. Whoever has been waiting the longest gets to drive on first. Then comes the next car and then the next car. I don't know how big or small the vehicles can be. Maybe really heavy traffic can drive on land. That sounds like the most sensible thing to do. Small trucks might work without any problems. I wonder how many people take the ferry with the same attitude as we do. that is, who take the ferry just because we can. That's there's an opportunity. Most people probably have a real reason for taking the ferry. They live or have a home on either side of the river, and they want to get to that home without having to drive all the way on the south side. It's probably very little fuss. I would guess the vast majority have a good reason for taking the ferry. We may be a very small minority who just go because we can do it. It would be some ferry controller or something similar who goes check the situation. It's actually quite amazing. Surely it's possible to measure how many cars and trucks travel south or north on the ferry every day. Surely there is different amount of traffic at different times of the day. Then you could try to schedule ferry trips, especially when there's usually a lot of traffic, and then take it easy on the other part of the time. Statistics and mathematics aren't all that bad. Next chapter, health. Lately, health for me has turned into how many steps you walk per day. These steps are recorded in an application on your mobile phone. Walking has come synonymous with health, and health is synonymous with walking and trudging, and I could basically vomit at all of this. It's true, it's healthy to walk. You have to buy it, and yet I don't go out and walk. What's stopping me? I don't know. I really don't know. It's maybe too boring. Is that the harsh reality? What am I missing? All I have to do is take a few steps out of the door and then go one leg before the other and so on. I have no motivation. I don't want to much enough. It's that simple. A little motivation would have been enough. I don't think it would have taken much if I had been out on the track. Then I would have been out walking, strolling, trudging, hiking, walking. I should take a watch to walk certain turns so that I know how long each turn takes, and then I decide how far I'm going to walk today. What makes walking so terribly boring? I don't really know, but it's easier to lie in bed and sleep. It feels like it's easier, but I'm fooling myself, I know it. Going out and walking is hard. I probably didn't think it would be as hard as it has become. It's like fate rests on my shoulder, like the lights turn into darkness. If I'm going to go out, it must be a solar eclipse or some other celestial phenomenon. Why would I be affected? I couldn't lose weight on my own just like that, just by sitting and having coffee and drinking coffee. Can I just force myself? Just say that now I'm breathing and in and now I'm going out. Why should it be so hard? I paid for my annual gym membership. The air outside still is free and clear. One step back and two forward. One foot first and then the other. Now it's going to be like this for a few minutes of my life. I can't think like that. Why can't I think like that? What does everyone else think? God, how nice it would be to be able to trudge around for a little over an hour. Hallelujah. God be praised. Donk, donk, dinkly donk. Here I come, here I come. The penguin wanders from one place to the other. It's like a fish in a bird's body. Although we know it's a bird, we know that. What if I were a penguin with an egg to hatch? With a penguin partner, how do I see the difference between my penguin and some other else's? It's absolutely incredibly difficult. Here I come anyway. Movement is important in many ways. It allows us to build up muscles and allows us to breathe in and out. it builds up the organism, ligaments, skeleton, connective tissue. Without movement, we would hardly have any muscles. Everything in the entire body is made to move, and I strongly dislike it, at least when I have to move. When it's is that really, when I have to change the tire on the car, it puts demand on my body, and I can barely keep up changing the tire. My cousin comes out and helps me. Then it doesn't feel fun, but I would have to train just for that. I think a lot about how little I want to move. I would rather have a brain and no body. I've come around, way too around. Everyone around me has become slimmer and thinner except me. It's like I'm storing up gram after gram. It's like I'm passing through and absorbing mass. I don't think I eat very much myself, but I still shows on the scale. 120 kilo, 125 kilo, 127 kilos. What's happening to me? Am I absorbing all the fluid too? The doctor is starting to talk about gastric bypass surgery, that we might have to take the weight seriously. I'm kind of waiting for everything to turn around, for the kilos to start coming off. But it might not be that simple. The kilos kind of add up. I think it's basically all my waking hours, or I think about it all, basically all my waking hours, or he or she looked little overweight, someone cycling or walking or slouching. It's so obvious, so fast. How would they lose weight? How can it be so obvious from such a distance whether someone is fat or skinny? Do I lack control over my body? Of course I want to be in control of my body. I want to be able to say no more calories, and then I hope I get in the saddle and take control. Maybe control over your own body signals control over your own life. I need to discipline myself, get organized. It all starts here and now. Order. They don't go away on their own. The extra pounds. Maybe I need to move at the same time. I've got high blood pressure, chest tightness, nitroglycerin spray. Where will it all end? Why can't I just go out for a walk or a bike ride? Bike or walk. It would have been so easy and so good. Why isn't the easy and the good not easy and good? I'm about to break down when I have to change the winter tires. I'm panting and moaning loudly. Is this the same body that I had when I was in the spring of youth? Back then I did sit-ups and push-ups. I thought it was fun and challenging, how things can change, really. Vitamins and minerals. I don't know how I came up with the idea, really, that I should eat vitamins and minerals. It was one thing to eat a little bit. It was another thing to cram in. I bought a can of man and a can of vegan, and so I close, chose to take a tablet from each can every night. In the end, I drank so much liquid that I had to run and pee all the time. My toes and fingers started to look like sausages, swollen and swollen. My back hurt. Everything has gotten better since I stopped taking these vitamins and minerals. Maybe you can take tablets every now and then, but not in large quantities. A few years ago, the care centrals changed their name to health centrals. You might think it's a ridiculous little change in the name, but the name is quite important after all. It feels like you're turning your attention from care to health and wellness. Health, something a little more positive. You can also interpret it as seeking help earlier, before care is required, before you need to go deeper into the problem. You might be able to tackle the problems little earlier. If you do this, you'll probably avoid having to deal with this and that. Preventive work, early treatment. Johannes constantly surprises me. He is actually very interested in health and well-being. He has a favorite book called The Cosmos Dialogue, an interview with the universe by Anna Lützi and Amy Sunderman. He seems to have a very good grasp of it. It includes certain components. You can divide the world into different compartments and bring order to the chaos. He borrows it from the library from time to time. Only one person can read the book at a time, after all, but the book is a kind of Bible for those who believe in it. Johannes can seem very confused, but when he starts talking about the dialogues, he is very clear and concise. I don't know why, but these days I associate a lot of health with going out and walking, a monotonous movement outside the home. The sun shines through the eyes and produces good substances. The body reacts and builds muscles. Walking is so good, and it's quite easy to measure. You can measure how many thousand steps you've taken during the day. This is where I'm so against it. I don't want to walk, but I have to walk. To have a future in this world, I have to walk. I can't avoid walking or strolling. Everyone wants me to walk. You just have to try to accept it. The idea of going out and running has struck me, but I understand that my knees would get a shock if I suddenly started running. It would be a huge strain on my knees. Then I thought about paddle, and that might be something, but it would also be a shock to the body. Chasing a ball, how about swimming? It should be gentle. It might not be a bad idea. Cycling too, better than running, but an alternative to going out and walking. Strength training is still an option. Just try lifting some weights. That would get the body going. A muscle group here and a muscle group there. New chapter. The disease. You can go around your whole life and nothing happens, and then suddenly several things happen at once. It doesn't have to be that the things having any contact with each other. Um, it just happens as it happens, and then you have to try to parry as you go. Since I got sick the first time when I had so many balls in the air, I felt a bit burnt out. Burnt out. Be careful not to have too much going on. It can backfire. It can backfire hard. It can take a long time before you recover, before you feel good and can function normally again. Don't take the first bait. Don't be too naive. Think before you gape. It's easy to come up with words of wisdom. It's easy to tell the future from tea leaves. Just because something happened to me, it doesn't happen to someone else. There's actually a lot that happens to you that doesn't happen to anyone else. So many others. Anyway, we tend to carry the burnt cookies with us and throw them at people around us. Just because something went wrong for me, it doesn't have to go wrong for someone else. Oh no, now I think I hear disco music from my neighbor upstairs. He's happy to be home tonight, a regular Sunday night. No 100%, not 100%. I know that I'm not completely 100% after taking evening and night medicine in the evening night. I can write thoughtless and foolish things. Above all, I'm afraid that I have to tell special people how much I love them, which is true in all honesty. But I write so clumsily and stupidly, just like I'm under the influence of alcohol or some other drug. I don't show my best side. I'm impulsive and thoughtless, stupid and dumber. I don't want to seem empty or stupid to those I love the most in my entire life. That would be really crazy, very stupid.